What's her opening going to be?
Somewhere beyond the sea.
Okay, do something funny.
Somewhere waiting for me.
Okay, funny part now.
My podcast stands on open sands and watches the ships that go sailing.
Okay.
And then the band gets like really fucking into it. They're like,
Is there a you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, that's cool. My name's Jackson McMurray.
Well, I'm Adeline McMurray, and my ideas are never supported.
And this is Nutters Allowed.
Nutters Allowed or whatever. Whatever. I thought it was really funny.
Okay. That's awful. Don't do that anymore. Okay, so Adeline, do you remember?
Do I remember?
On our Monsters Inc. episode,
you had the world's hottest
when
take.
I delivered the career-making insight.
Career-ending insight.
No, nuh-uh.
The opposite.
Later, I'm gonna do my cancelable insight later. That's further down the road.
When is that scheduled?
I don't know. We'll see when I think of it. I have a follow-up, a sophomore effort to that incredible take. Are you ready for it?
All right.
Finding Nemo, right? That's the title?
Yes.
Titled that because Marlin is trying to find Nemo. But have you considered that Nemo is also trying to find Nemo in more of an abstract kind of way? He's trying to find himself, Nemo, title of the film. Finding Nemo. So, Adeline, do you want to hear a 1-star review of Finding Nemo?
Yeah. Sorry, I know we're like getting right into this shit, but real quick, can we just talk about what Billie Eilish wore to the Grammys?
I thought I looked dumb. I didn't think it was that cool.
No, that's what I'm saying. What is she doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I'm all for like big crazy Grammys outfits. I thought Billie Eilish's looked lame. I didn't like it. I thought Lil Nas X's was better, and I thought the guy with the funny hat was better. I don't know who that guy was.
Yeah, what's his name?
But he had a very funny hat that we all really liked.
Porter.
Billy Porter. Everybody was really into that hat, and same. Everybody saw that hat and said, same, me, literally me.
That's me.
Also I.
Yeah, it's just, Billy's just
like a weird suit with green sleeves. It's like...
Yeah. And it's like, I know that's like her style is like wearing like kind of bigger clothes on her, and that's fine. This looks like she stole her grandpa's like pajamas.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look good.
And then just like went out into the world, then walked onto the Grammys red carpet where she won like 3 awards.
Yeah, and her sleeves are like, I guess they are. From the picture I saw, it didn't even look like the green sleeves were like coming out. It looked like they were just weird little flourishes like halfway up her arm. But they are sleeves.
It also makes her proportions just whack.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, looking at this picture, her arms look so long and then her legs are so short, and I'm so confused.
Yeah, no, it's a bad look. It's a bad look. I'm sorry,
my
Billy.
God, I love Billy. I think she's great. This outfit's bad, though.
And look, Billy, if you're listening,
mm-hmm.
I know you're a youngster, and you probably like podcasts. I've heard that youngsters like podcasts, so she probably listens to ours.
I think she's 1 year younger than me, if I remember.
I think she's a little bit younger than that. She's still like 17, isn't she?
Well, because she was 17 when she like first debuted, and that was like a year ago.
Okay, so she is 1 year younger than you. She was born in 2001. But Billy, it's cool. We like you still. It's fine. Um, I don't know. I guess I don't actually have a joke here.
No.
Um,
You thought that you would find one as
yeah,
you were
I thought I would
speaking.
start talking and I would be like, and I would think of something funny, but now it's just like, it's okay. We don't mean it. We're just poking
We like
fun, Billy.
listen. You're doing your own thing, and I respect that, and I love that you don't care about what anybody else thinks.
Right. Uh huh.
This is still bad
This
though.
is.
Don't wear this again.
Look. She didn't design it, right?
That yeah,
Somebody
no,
else did.
it's not 100% her fault. It's just a little bit her fault. She didn't say anything against it.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the Grammys. I was kind of bummed out about it.
I was upset that Lizzo only won like one thing. Lizzo deserved better.
I am a huge sucker for award shows. Award shows are like, I don't know, everybody else in the world gets so mad about them, and so many
Yeah.
people are like, it doesn't mean anything. Why do we support this? Awards for art. It's all horseshit. But it's like, okay, yeah, you're right, I guess. But still, though, I like it because it's fun, and there are a whole bunch of people that I like who are there at the same time. And then there are some concerts, and we get to talk about some stuff that we liked from the last year. So,
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm down for it pretty much always, and I'm gonna tear up at the big movie montage with the dramatic music behind it because those get me so bad, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm always way on board with like award shows until the part where they start handing out awards, and then
Right.
I'm like, ew, this is gross. Because it's like, oh, a bunch of celebrities like hanging out. It's like, ooh, fun. It's like, oh, and they're all wearing pretty clothes. It's like, ooh, fun. And it's like, we're gonna talk about and like take a second to really appreciate all the art that's been made. And it's like, yay, I love it. But then once they get up on the stage and they're like, all right, here's the good art and the bad art, and I'm like,
Now,
I don't think
okay,
that's how art works.
look. It's just like
Here's the
every
art that we think has value.
no, here's the art that we think is the best art. Not everything
But
that's
I don't
not,
think you can say what art is the best art. That's the
but you
point
can
of
say what
art.
you think is the best art. They're just
But
people.
who
They're
is
groups of
saying
people.
that?
It's a specific group of people. That's how you have to look at it in order to enjoy it. This is a group of people, the Academy Awards of Arts and Sciences, or the Hollywood Foreign Press, or the DGA, or whatever award show it is. They say, hey, we got together and we voted on what we liked the most. And that's just what it is. They're not making
But
some
they only
broad,
like white
objective,
straight men.
sweeping
That's the only thing that
statement,
they
and
like.
you're allowed to say that. Speaking of Finding Nemo,
Uh-huh.
and who all is Finding Nemo, because multiple people are
Uh-huh.
thematically,
Yeah, a lot
right?
of people found Nemo too. I think
That's
everybody
true.
found Nemo.
More than one person finds Nemo. There's a lot of Finding Nemo going around in this movie.
Can you imagine
Willem Dafoe finds Nemo. The dentist finds Nemo.
the big bird,
Big Bird finds Nemo.
all the fish in the tank?
All the tank fish. I mean, along with Willem Dafoe,
I
the rest of
mean,
them also.
Willem Dafoe is in a hive mind. Not yet.
Who else finds Nemo?
Dory,
The
Ellen
seagulls.
DeGeneres.
The seagulls find Nemo.
Yeah.
That's a bad kind of Finding Nemo, but they still do it.
The boat.
The boat finds Nemo. The ocean. The
The
ocean finds
ocean.
Nemo. A barracuda. No, the barracuda doesn't find Nemo.
Jackson, that's not a barracuda.
Yes, it is. What do you mean?
No, it's the glowy barracuda are the fish with teeth in the Amazon River.
At the beginning. No, you're thinking of
I'm thinking of the
or
angler.
no. Wait, we're all confused. Piranhas are in the Amazon. Barracudas are the longfish. Like from the beginning
You're
of the
right.
movie.
You're right.
And the barracuda does not find Nemo. I would say the barracuda is
right.
maybe the only one who doesn't
The
find
only
Nemo.
thing in this whole movie that doesn't find Nemo.
Doesn't find Nemo.
If it found Nemo, it'd be a short film.
And all the other fish in the ocean that spread the word, they kind of found Nemo. Not physically,
they found
but
their own Nemo. The
they
Nemo
discovered
inside of
Nemo.
them.
Yeah.
Who else found Nemo, Jackson? If you
This is
really
a great
think about
podcast.
it. It's the anglerfish or the glowy ones. Yeah.
I guess he doesn't find Nemo. He's not really aware of Nemo.
No. God, anglerfish are so fucking scary.
But we don't know for sure. Maybe maybe one of the fish told the anglerfish about Nemo.
But
later,
then why
when-
wasn't he cool?
It was after that though.
God, fucking
And
anglerfish are fucking
he was
gross,
like,
dude.
"Oh man," and he like slapped his forehead and was like, "I almost ate the cool Nemo dad."
The cool guy.
And then later they'll have a marlin and the anglerfish can crack a beer about it and be like, "Hey
Yeah.
man, that you know, the
Sorry, I almost ate you.
anglerfish gonna angle, you know, they're
Yeah, well,
gonna
it's a female anglerfish because the male anglerfish are like the super tiny weird things.
right." Okay, here's a new segment that I
Yeah.
want to start on the show. It's
Okay.
called it's a
Looking up
spin-off
is
of
it called looking up pictures of anglerfish and getting really
no.
disturbed because they're fucking gross?
It's called Things I Learned About Ocean Life While Browsing Through IMDb Trivia.
Yeah.
Um it's just one thing, but there's an IMDb trivia entry that says, at the beginning, Pearl says one of her tentacles is shorter than the rest, but it's hard to tell. On octopi, the short tentacle is the genitalia. And I was like, that's bullshit. That you just made that up. That's not true.
Mhm.
But I looked it up and it turns out, okay, I mean, first of all, Pearl is a cuttlefish. She's not an octopus. So, A,
So go
that.
ahead and put that away.
But turns out octopus don't have a penis in the traditional sense. Their like sperm delivery system is just in one of their tentacles
Yeah, and they
and
rip
they
off their
literally
tentacle and they give it to the female.
well, that's a certain kind. The majority of octopus literally just kind of like reach over and just like stick their little tentacle in the female and just like drop off the sperm in there.
And then they run away really fast
Like
because she
yeah, like
will kill you.
like just like with like it's imagine like if you just like were holding your sperm and you were just like, "Hey, what's up? You want this? Take it."
Doesn't
And
that
that's how you
happen
had
in The
sex.
Silence of the Lambs?
Um I mean not in a friendly way. Not in an amicable and consenting way.
Well, I don't think it's that way with octopi either.
I mean, I don't know, they're animals.
Is
Consent
there
doesn't
is there
matter in
room for
animals.
romance in octopi?
Anyway, also I learned that the turtles are named Crush and Squirt, and they're both named after orange soda, which I had never even
Oh, you're
considered.
right.
That's just a good piece of trivia that I was just floored by. That I've been watching this movie since I was 8 years old and never
Yeah,
considered it.
I was like, we were just like, yeah, their names are Crush and Squirt. What do you want? I'm not looking for the hidden meaning.
What are some other good orange sodas that you can name turtles after? Fanta.
Sunny
That'd
D.
be kind of funny. Sunny D. Yes.
Well, because that's just a surfer bro name in itself.
Yeah, totally. Hold on. Orange sodas.
Totally. Our
All
friend who
right.
we used to go to youth group with, he plays Crush at Disneyland. So
Yeah,
so
yeah,
there
yeah.
was a one time that we went to Disneyland and Jackson just got absolutely roasted by Crush, and it
That's
was
right.
the
Let's talk about
funniest
this.
thing on the planet.
Yeah, so they have an exhibit at not an exhibit, an event
A
at
thing that you could go
Disneyland.
to.
Yeah, where they have this like high tech screen where like Crush comes out and there's a guy behind it who does the voice and they can press different buttons to activate different animations for Crush on screen and you can like talk to him and interact with him, right? And one of our friends from the church that we went to when we were growing up works there now and does the voice of Crush and like operates that whole thing. So when we went to Disneyland, he just really, really singled us out
Yeah, well,
and
no, he
just
singled
really,
you out.
yeah, singled me out and just roasted the fuck out of me as Crush in front of an ocean of 9-year-olds. It was just good. It was just a good time.
He also like he was like, "Where are you from?" And you're like, "Spokane." He was like, "Oh, what do you do in Spokane for fun?" And you were like, "We chill at the park." And he was like, "Cool." Just chilling at the park.
It was a good day.
It was a great day.
There's also Dad's orange soda. You could have a turtle named Dad.
That's his name.
Yeah.
This is Dad.
Sunkissed. Zevia. You can name a turtle
What?
Zevia.
Scoozy?
Um,
Zendaya?
Fago. Orange
That's good.
flavor. Like, hey, what's up? My name's Fago. Orange flavor.
I'm definitely smoking weed as we speak.
Yeah. Mountain Dew Kickstart. Orange flavor.
Yeah, this is Kickstart.
Anyway, now that we're done talking about orange soda,
Yeah.
um, what? So this was the first DVD we ever owned. I remember.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't.
I what?
I didn't remember that.
Oh yeah, because I just remember we got the DVD player for Christmas.
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember who gave it to who, or if it was just like our parents bought it at Christmas time for the family, and we like opened it at Christmas time. If it was one of those. Um, but like the time when mom bought dad the PS3, but it wasn't like dad's PS3. It was like
No,
here's
it
a
was
gift
it
for the
was
family.
yeah.
Um, But, but I remember we got Finding Nemo with it, and for a really long time, that was the only DVD we had. And I remember being so excited because this was at the very beginning of DVD technology, right?
Yeah.
Where, like, the whole
A
selling
laser
point
disc.
was the bonus features, and I was constantly seeing commercials on TV where the huge selling point for the home video release of all these kids movies was like, "And check out this interactive game built into the disc
Oh,
where
they
you
were
could
so
use
into that.
they could use the, like, left, right, back, and forth buttons on the DVD remote to, like, play a really bad game, on the DVD menu."
Oh,
And I
yeah.
thought and in my mind as a little kid, I was like, "Oh, it's basically like a movie and a video game together in one disc." Um, but I remember spending so much time on all the miscellaneous menus and bonus features on the Finding Nemo disc, including, like, a gallery of, like, storyboard art and, like, clay physical models that they made for each of the, like, character models that you could
Yeah.
click through, that were, like, three-dimensional and they spun around, and I thought that was the coolest shit in the world. And the director and the writer would say things like, "Marlin is finding Nemo, but Nemo is also finding Nemo." Um,
Mhm.
just all these incredible things that I learned from the DVD bonus features of Finding Nemo.
Yeah, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
Any thoughts on DVD bonus features?
I all I remember this doesn't have to do with anything. It's just us enjoying DVDs. I remember the bonus features on Tim Burton's Willy Wonka and Charlie the Chocolate Factory,
Right.
and learning all of the
All the Oompa
dances
Loompa
that the Oompa
dances?
Loompas would do.
Yeah.
We had that shit
Oh,
memorized.
man, that rules. I keep thinking we should do that movie on this podcast
Okay, but if we
because
do
I
that, we have to record us doing all the dances.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I guess so. Um, but because I watched it recently and it kind of holds up. Like to be honest, I
Yeah,
feel
it's
like that
gross.
has like a later Burton bad reputation, but I still dug it. I still liked it a lot. And all those Oompa Loompa songs are basically just like Oingo Boingo songs, which is
Yeah, no,
also
yeah.
very cool. Um,
So I know this is a thing with the Screen Actors Guild, is that the number of times that you're in a movie, you have to like get paid for every like if you play more than one role, you get paid for each of those roles. You don't get paid straight. Like you're in the movie, you get paid once, you get paid for every role that you have. So
hmm.
did Deep Roy just like make fucking bank on that movie, or how does
So
that
yeah,
work?
no, that's the story is that he didn't really necessarily have a very high hourly pay, but the SAG rules say that you need to get a bonus for every discrete character that you play. That's
Yeah,
like one of the rules. So basically, and in a situation like that, usually they would just be a negotiation with the actor, be like, okay, we're not going to pay you that bonus every time, but we will pay you more than usual, and
yeah.
you'll waive that right or whatever. But basically Deep Roy was like, "No, I will not. I will absolutely not waive that right." And Tim Burton was like, "I will not cast anyone else other than Deep Roy." And so Deep Roy made like $10 million for that
Honestly,
movie.
good for him.
Yeah, exactly. Like Tim Burton and Deep Roy just like conned the system so hard in order to get Deep Roy the biggest possible payday on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. I mean, it's Deep. I only know Deep Roy from like Tim Burton films. Has he acted in other things?
He's just been around. He played Droopy McCool in Return of the Jedi.
Cool. Oh, was
Um
that him?
yeah, the blue guy with the weird keyboard.
That's hilarious.
That was Deep Roy. Yeah, I don't know. He's just around. There are a lot of little people in the film industry that just do little roles and odd jobs when they are needed.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I know he was in the most recent Star Trek movie. I don't know of any other like real meaty roles he's had before though. Let's see. Let's see what the internet has to say about Deep Roy, which is a great name, by the way.
Yeah.
It sounds like it sounds like if you were like unraveling a corporate conspiracy, you got a mysterious phone call. You'd be like, "My name is not important. You can call me Deep Roy." That's what I think of.
All right.
um,
I think of like a SoundCloud rapper, but you do you.
Deep Right. That's also would be a good SoundCloud rapper name. He was born in Kenya. It's cool. Good for him.
Good for Kenya.
Um, yeah, he was in Neverending Story. Um,
We're gonna
well, I
stop
guess he
talking
was
about Finding Nemo to talk about Deep Roy for a
Deep
little
Roy
bit,
for a
but
little while. Yeah, I guess he was in all 3 Star Trek movies. I didn't
oh,
know that.
nice.
He was in a short film called Jewthwick,
Um.
like the words Jew and Catholic together, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Um, he was in Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. I don't know what he was doing in that, but he was.
But he sure was.
Oh, he was one of the hitchhiking ghosts in the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Do you think we'll ever see that movie? Adeline, tell me a secret. Do you think that when you die, you will have seen Eddie Murphy's The Haunted Mansion?
I really don't know.
What do you expect to be the case?
I mean, probably. I mean, I will probably watch it as a goof at some time in my life.
That's what I'm thinking. I
Yeah,
can't imagine. I don't know if I would ever want to, but it seems like the kind of movie
inevitable.
that still comes up every once in a while, and there's got to be some point in this life of mine where I do sit down and watch Eddie Murphy's The Haunted Mansion.
Because that's like Disney, like making a movie for the Haunted Mansion, right? It's not just a
Right.
coincidence.
Yeah, no, it was a Disney movie because Pirates of the Caribbean was an enormous blockbuster hit, and they're
That's
like,
right.
hell
So
yeah,
they
this
thought
is
they
a
would
new
do the like total opposite of that and make an
right.
Eddie Murphy movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I don't think it's really ideologically that different. Like having um what's his name? Johnny Depp play
Jimmy
Captain Jack
Johnson.
Sparrow, like, is just like totally. I mean, he's not like a comedic actor, but it's like kind of a left field decision to like take a big swing on something.
Yeah.
And I feel like take Eddie Murphy, put him in a haunted mansion. That sounds like a recipe for success to me.
I guess it's just because there is some story to the Pirates of the Caribbean, like the ride. Like
Yeah,
there's like a story going on, so it's like it makes sense to like make an action adventure movie out of that like little story and just like beef it
right.
up a little bit more.
And then I'm trying to think if they ever tried to mine like Disneyland IP ever again. I
Well,
guess there was
I
Tomorrowland.
yeah, but that sucked. Nobody liked that.
Have you seen it?
No.
I want to watch it one of these days because it's Brad Bird, and I've heard a
Yeah.
lot of people say that it's a really fascinating movie, even if it doesn't work a lot of the time.
Yeah, like at
That's
least
just
they're
like,
trying stuff.
yeah, like Brad Bird is an interesting enough director that even when he makes a bad movie, you still kind of want to watch it.
Yeah. Well, because I am 100% convinced that they made The Princess and the Frog in 1920s New Orleans for the New Orleans area at Disneyland. So
Right.
they could put Tiana there, which is fine because Princess and the Frog is a fantastic movie. But, like, I don't know. They haven't really expanded, like, the Disney parks since the
Yeah.
Star Wars area. Sorry, I choked. Can we
Right.
talk about how fucking dope the new Star Wars area looks?
God, I
Like
want to
they
go
got
so bad.
I know they got that ride where you like drive the Millennium Falcon and that looks dope as hell. Like you get like a crew of people and you drive the Millennium Falcon around.
Yeah, and the whole gag. I don't know. Basically, the gag is that there are like 4 different places you can be on the spaceship, and each one of them has a discrete, like, gamified ride built into it, right?
Yeah.
Where, like, based on each one, you're like doing a different thing, like, as a sort of a game while you're on this roller coaster.
Yeah.
So there's like 4 different rides potentially that you could take on the one ride. And
Yeah.
then, depending on how good you are at it, all the like animatronics and whatever will like talk to you about how good or bad you were at shooting TIE fighters, which
Yeah.
I think is so good.
It's so
It's
good. And then they just have stormtroopers just like walking around harassing people and it's hilarious. Like
Yeah.
it's so good.
God.
And they had
Oh.
the make your own lightsaber thing, but now they're like real good lightsabers that cost like $100, which
No, you
probably
know what
means
they
that
have?
what?
They have build your own droid stations
I
where
saw
you
that. You
can
can make
make
a
your
little
own remote
BB-8.
control droids. Okay. I am such a big fan of all old sad robots.
I know.
This is
You get
something
to
that
make your own sad robot,
I get to make
Jackson.
my own sad robot. This is something I discovered about myself after we recorded the Castle in the Sky episode
This
with
is
Kosh.
something I've always known about you.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things everybody else knew it, but it just took me a little bit longer to piece it together. Anytime, okay, a robot should be old and broken. It should be sad, and it should not have a human face. Those are my jam. Those are all great robots. I think
I'm
the
surprised you
best
don't like Wally
examples,
more.
Wally, yeah, I guess. Wally's a little bit too cutesy. He's not sad.
He
He's
can
a
be sad
very
if you
he's a
so
very
desire.
he's a very perky and optimistic young robot, and that's not quite the same thing.
That's true. That's true.
I'm trying to think what the good examples were that I said earlier. Um,
Bastion.
oh, Bastion from Overwatch is a good decrepit old sad robot without a human face, and C3PO has too much of a face, but R2D2
Great.
is great. R2D2 is not really that sad either. R2D2 is less sad than C3PO, but still.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I feel like the
R2D2?
majority of robots in Star Wars are kind of decrepit and old and
Yeah.
sad,
Why
which
did
is great.
R2D2 do shit in the new trilogy? He didn't do a goddamn thing.
Okay, wait. So it's my understanding that C3PO doesn't kill anybody in Rise of
Yeah, no, I'm
Skywalker.
sorry to tell you, he doesn't kill anybody.
Not to do Rise of Skywalker spoilers 2 episodes in a row.
Again.
I was so fucking sure that they were going to engage instant kill mode on C3PO and he was just going to go fucking batshit crazy. But okay, wait, on that poster, he's holding a crossbow. Does he hold a crossbow?
I think they're like running around and doing stuff with C3PO, so maybe he does. I can't remember
For
like
like
a
a split
scene.
second.
Yeah, I can't remember a scene where he's like actively fighting though.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, Star Wars isn't over. Maybe someday C3PO will kill somebody.
Well, he's a Skywalker because Anakin is his dad.
That's true. That is true. He is technically a Skywalker.
Yeah.
Episode 10, the Skywalker saga continues based on C3PO.
C3PO, a
Okay,
Star
hold
Wars
on.
story.
Okay, god damn it. We're going to have to do Rise of
Okay.
Skywalker spoiler tag again.
Why does
Fuck.
this always happen on our fucking Pixar movies? It's because everybody knows that this movie is good, so why
Right.
would we talk about it?
Okay. So, C3PO.
Yes.
No. Are there even any Skywalkers in Rise of Skywalker? I guess Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren is like kind of, because
But he
he's
doesn't
Leia's
rise.
son. But he's technically a Solo, because they call him Ben Solo.
Right, but he dies in it, doesn't he?
He dies at the very end.
So he doesn't rise.
No,
He does
look,
quite
it's
the
because
opposite of
it's
that.
because he's not Kylo Ren dies, and then Ben Solo is reborn, and then Ben Solo also dies.
Okay, but Princess Leia dies probably, right?
Yeah,
Or do they just? Okay,
Yeah, no, she does.
so every Skywalker in it fucking dies. There are no
Yeah.
rising Skywalkers.
Well, but then
in
at
it.
the very end of the movie, there's like the lady. She's like, "It's been so long. Who are you?" And she's like, "Rey." And she's like, "Rey who?" And she's like, "Rey." Looks over at Force Ghosts. Rey Skywalker, and then the credits roll.
Right.
So it's like
doesn't count though. That's
she's
cheating.
like choosing to be a part of something good instead of being a part of like who she is or whatever.
Doesn't
so
count,
it's
though.
like the Rise of Skywalker is like her choosing good because Skywalker equals good and bad guy equals bad.
Okay, we're gonna stop this now. We can't do 40 minutes of Skywalker spoilers.
A second time.
I was gonna say that at one point Disney made a comic book based on Thunder Mountain Railroad, which I heard was kind of good, but they didn't. That never really caught on.
Is it like a slice of life Americana about miners or what?
No, it was about like a guy who does like a heist on a train, I think.
Oh, that's
and it was
fun.
like kind of tangentially related to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Well, because Mom has talked about going to Disneyland this summer to save up money, because like part of me like really wants to build a lightsaber.
Oh God.
It's like
$100. No, I'm gonna build a droid. I have to look up how much the droids are, because if I could have my own remote control sad robot, I would just be the happiest little boy on the planet.
I know they're both really expensive. I know the lightsaber's like $100.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo, all right? Marlin's finding Nemo. Nemo's finding Nemo.
Dory's
Everybody's
finding
Nemo. I'm gonna keep saying this over and over again this whole podcast.
Cool, great.
Um,
Amazing.
okay. I want to say I love Pixar's now like reoccurring gag of giving goofy characters just hilariously regular names, right?
Yeah.
Like there's that moment at the beginning where all the kids are playing around and they're just like, "Hey, get off Mr. Johansson's yard!" And it's
Yeah,
like
it's the
this
giant
fish whose
flatfish.
name is Mr. Johansson. Like he's not German. Why is he named that? He's a fish. Anyway,
Yeah.
I just think that's great. I love that.
I mean, I think this movie is just really a great example of Pixar's mastery of character. Because there's so many minor characters in this movie, and they're all just
Mhm.
like characterized so quickly and so effectively. Like you have the group of like dads, and like you immediately know who like all those dads are. And you
Right.
have the dad's shitty little kids, and you have Mr. Johansson. Like it's so they're
Right.
so good at just making characters and making them feel real in such a short amount of time.
Totally. This is, I think, Pixar's first time dipping their toe into the sad opening, right?
Yeah,
Which they start to do more often. It's not like a always thing, but like they become sort of known for it. Like Up is the most famous example.
yeah.
And also, um, what are some other good ones? Is this gonna be like that time when I say that Monsters Inc. is like Wreck-It Ralph, and then that's the only other example
And
I
that's the
have?
only thing that you can think of.
Hold on, hold on. Inside Out, did that I don't remember well
No,
enough.
I mean they move. It's not sad.
It's a little bit sad, maybe.
Even though it's a movie about depression.
Ratatouille is not sad. Welly's not sad.
Ratatouille is heartbreaking.
What happens in the beginning of Ratatouille?
They get shot by the grandma.
Oh, that's right. No, that's not sad.
Ratatouille dies.
Okay, never mind. Whatever. Fuck me, I guess. Hey, Jackson. If just edit this in instead. The beginning of this movie is really sad, kind of like how Up is. You know what I
Yeah.
just realized? I've become IMDb trivia. That's what I am now.
You've gone too far.
Yeah. I just like find some things that are a little bit similar between two movies and I
And you
just
write
point it
that
out
shit
and
down.
act like it's cool. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. You know, I'm going on IMDb right now. I'm writing it down.
No.
I'm gonna see if they'll let me just put some trivia on Finding Nemo. Talk about something while I do
So what
this.
I think is really effective about I guess this is my podcast now. What I think is really effective about the animation in this movie is that there is so much going on screen, like all the
Totally.
time. Like anytime we're in like the reef area, there's like crazy colorful reef that makes up the scenery. And then you have like the ceiling of the ocean that's always moving and colorful. And then you have all the fish like interacting with the coral while the camera is moving. And there's just so much going on in every shot. And then nothing gets lost and it's easy to look at. Like the way that they are like able to convey something so chaotic in such a like artistic and clear way is just crazy.
Right. No, and I was really wondering, in terms of like 3D animation, what does it take to animate just like the vast, unending maw
Ocean.
of the ocean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what does that look like? Do they set up like a skybox? Because it doesn't look
I
like
don't know.
it.
Well, because you have, I was about to say, another thing that they convey really well is the fact that they're in water all the time. Like, they convey the fact that they're in water super well with just, like, particles and stuff like that and, like, the coloring and stuff. And,
Right.
like, God, this movie's so good at showing how fucking scary the ocean is.
Yeah, dog. It's so
Like,
good.
that first shot where he's chasing after the boat and he's, like, just under the surface of the water and you can't see, like, the ground beneath it and he's just, like, in the water and you're like, oh, fuck the ocean, dude.
Ocean sucked. Ocean can go
Ocean
fuck
sucks.
itself.
Ocean's haunted. We're not going in there.
Okay, hold on. One sec.
Or
I'm
like the
confirming my
fucking
IMDb account.
when they get out when they're done hanging out with Crush and they get where they're going and they have to go into like the foggy part of the ocean and they're
Right.
just like suspended in the ocean and then there's a fucking whale and it's fucking
Yeah.
scary.
So, okay, here's my other big sort of take about this movie. It's not like a crazy galaxy brain take. It's just like a real thing I want to say.
Okay, great.
Is just that like I'm fascinated by how like episodic and Odyssey like it is.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
it's
Oh
like
yeah.
one of these just adventure stories. It's not necessarily very cause and effect driven, but it's just about one guy who does a bunch of cool things.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does this, and then he does this, and then he does this, and then he does this. And there's a goal, and he's going somewhere. He's trying to do something.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not like a really tightly written story. It's just like, oh yeah, he finds some sharks, and then he gets in a whale, and then he falls down in the ocean, and all the things that happen in the movie.
In
You know,
Finding
you know what
Nemo,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Sorry, I'm saying that while also multitasking, adding my good thing to.
Stop trying to put things on IMDb right
No,
now.
I'm going to. Hold on.
Wait until
For
after
real?
the podcast.
No, I have to do it on air. Hold on. Give me 10 seconds. I'm almost there. I made an IMDb account
Oh my god.
just for this. Finding Nemo. Add one item. Yes. Oh, here we go. Here we go. New item number 1. Finding Nemo opens with a family tragedy. Kind of like how in Up
It
the wife
also do be a lot like
dies,
that.
which also is a Pixar film.
Wow.
Film.
Does this count as trivia time?
It really do be like that sometimes. Finding Nemo opens with a family tragedy, kind of like how in Up the wife dies, which is also a Pixar film. They really do be like that sometimes. Check
I
these
mean,
updates. Let's go.
that's on par for trivia time.
Provide an explanation. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, explain
Give
your
me
thinking.
give me genuine dead air here so I can figure out this interface. These are there are some. It's warning me that there are some spelling mistakes.
Listen, bro, you should know.
Pixar. Yeah, that's a word. Pixar is a word. Do I need to capitalize it?
Probably.
That's hilarious that it won't allow spelling mistakes.
That's hilarious, actually. They won't read it to make sure it's not just fucking nonsense, but
Yeah.
god, they don't want any misspelled words in there. You're
Submit
gonna make
these
them look
updates.
bad, Jackson.
Submit these updates. Thank you for your contribution to IMDb.
Great,
It's
great.
being processed by our
Amazing.
team. They're not gonna let it through.
No, it's not
right?
being processed by any team. They're just hitting send on that shit.
God, I hope they let it through. Okay, cool guys. Cool guys. We call our audience cool guys.
Go on IMDb Nemo.
I need you to check out the trivia page for IMDb Nemo, because if my thing is on there, I am counting on you to push that thing to the fucking top of the charts. Okay, I'm going to be trivia time today. What do you have to say about Finding Nemo,
Finding
Adeline?
Nemo? Well, let's just see. I mean, I have watched Finding Dory more recently than I watched Finding Nemo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing kind of happened with Monsters Inc. and Monsters University, where I was like, oh, the animation is pretty much the same. And then I go and watch the first one, and I'm like, oh, this is just what I thought the animation looked like.
Right.
And now it actually looks like how I thought it looked.
Right.
Because, like, Finding Nemo still looks really fucking great. But just, like, we've talked about this before. Like, Pixar has just, like, nailed textures so much. And that's just, like, the one thing that's, like, hasn't aged mega well with Finding Nemo. It's, like, the textures on, like, the fish just aren't as clean as they are in the new ones.
Mm-hmm. Just in terms of storytelling, I don't remember who it was that said this, but somebody that was on a podcast or wrote a review or something was talking about how, like, a lot of things tend to rely overly heavily on a big reveal, like
Mm-hmm.
especially in television, but in a lot of other things also, where it's
Looking at
like
you,
things.
Frozen.
Right, but it's like, but not even like a twist, just like withholding information from you, right? Before they
Yeah.
can reveal it at an interesting time. But I think the opposite can sometimes be just as interesting. This is also what the person said, whoever it might have been.
Cool.
But sometimes it's just as interesting to just tell you what you need to know right up front.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that you can just let that experience inform the character immediately as you're watching it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is really well illustrated here, because it would be so easy to just open with the first day of school and be like, oh, Marlin's so crazy. Why is he so neurotic and worried about Nemo? And then
Mm-hmm.
halfway through the movie, you have that
Be
big
like,
reveal
oh,
where
his wife's
he opens up to
dead.
Dory about how his wife died by barracuda and blah blah blah. But instead, they just show you right at the beginning. So you know immediately why he is the way he is, and it endears you to his character so strongly and so immediately, and I
Yeah.
think that's a much more effective choice than making it a secret to the audience, you know? Does that make
Yep.
sense?
Yeah, well, because I feel like a lot of time those reveals are like, you didn't like this character, but now you do like him because you know what happened to him,
Right.
like kind
Now
of
don't
thing.
you feel bad for being judgmental.
Yeah, exactly. And like it makes more sense to be like just telling you like why he is this way and then see what he does. Cuz I mean, this whole movie is like the difficulty of raising children and especially the difficulty of raising children with disabilities and like
Right.
especially cuz Marlon like kind of has a traumatic past and has trauma that he's working through. Like I feel
Right.
like it would kind of be it would just yeah, like we wouldn't like Marlon, and then the movie would be like, "Oh, you're such a jerk for not liking Marlon." So I
Right.
like that it's like telling you all the information so that we can be talking about the main theme throughout the whole movie instead of waiting to talk about the theme till it's like revealed that we're even talking about anything, you know?
Right, yeah. Um, I also think there's just a great little animation moment that I never thought about before when I watched it as a kid, where,
Uh-huh.
like, as they're, like, excitedly swimming to school the first day, and they're, like, going through that, like, corridor or whatever, and
Mhm.
Nemo's just, like, swerving around all over the place, and Marlin is constantly just, like, kinda nudging him back towards the middle of the path, you know,
Yeah.
as they're swimming around. I don't know if you ever noticed that, but I just thought that
Yeah.
was so funny. Like, I don't know, because it's not even necessarily like, "Oh, he can't swim," it's just like he's really excited, and he's
Yeah.
just, like, veering all around because 'cause he's got his weird fin, and it's just like, "Okay, okay, buddy, like, chill out."
Pal. Anyone
Um,
who has ever been around children knows that feeling of like,
yeah.
okay, dude.
Um, I think it's really interesting. There's a phenomenon in a lot of animated movies where, because you know, you basically have to create a vocal track before you really start doing like storyboards and stuff for an
Yeah.
animated movie. And you do it just with whoever's around, whatever animators want to like sit down and record
Yeah,
into a
it's
tape
usually just
recorder.
the storyboard artists, like, just doing
Yeah.
what they can.
Um, but I'm so fascinated by the times when those storyboard artists just get to be the voice in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Um, because Mr. Ray is one of the storyboard artists, and Crush is just played by Andrew Stanton, who's the director. Um, and like I don't know, I just think it's so fascinating, like which characters and which voices like stand out so strongly when you're just doing it off the cuff that you're like, no celebrity voice actor is gonna have a better effect than Jeremy
Yeah.
doing this voice,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, it's because I think it really depends. Like, when you have, like, main characters and stuff, you kind of have an idea, at least in the back of your head, of like what celebrity is going to play them or like what they sound like. And
Right,
like like because they're such a strong character, they're so well developed that they have like a specific voice in your head. And so you're trying to find that voice, and it's usually not you. It's like someone you like need to like put the right voice to it. But I feel like with minor characters that you're kind of developing as you go, I think it makes a lot more sense for it to be like, I did this voice this way, and I don't think anyone else is gonna do the goof as well as I'm doing it, so I'm just
right,
gonna do the
exactly.
goof myself.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other good examples. The like special agent in The Incredibles with the super deep voice is
Yeah.
just a Pixar animator.
Yeah.
And Brad Bird does the voice of Edna Mode, and like I don't know, it happens a lot, and
Yeah.
I don't know, I think that's so fascinating to like think about and try to dissect.
Yeah, I mean, because it really is some characters I think do kind of, like, emerge from improv, or I'm
You
like,
kind of feel like that sometimes,
yeah, I'm gonna try something weird, and if it's funny, we'll do it, and if it's not funny, we won't do it. And sometimes you do it, and it's really fucking funny, and you're like, "Okay, I have this character now. Am I gonna do it, or am I gonna have to, like, struggle to find someone who can do this bit as good as I can do it?" And
right?
sometimes the answer is no, and then you just put that in your, like, arsenal of, like, SNL characters.
Right, yeah. So yeah, apparently, one of the things I found out from the good trivia on IMDb trivia, um, is that fuck, what's the guy's name who plays Marlin? He's one of the Simpsons voices.
Marlon Brando.
Albert Brooks. Apparently there's like an hour's worth of unused footage of Marlon Brooks just telling jokes in the least funny way possible that they had to pick through. So they just had him like go into the booth and be like, "Okay, so there's a well, a barnacle, and he says, I mean, I don't know. It's a barnacle, so it doesn't talk, but it's a joke. You gotta suspend your disbelief for the joke. There's just like an hour of him just like sucking ass at telling jokes that they like picked the jokes from, and I just think that's hilarious.
That's really good.
Um, the
I
well,
love
okay,
stuff like that when they like have an animator do something and it's not something they're ever gonna use, but they're like, we just want to like have this, you know? And
right.
because I think my favorite example of that is John Mulaney as a Spider Pig, but he
Oh,
was
right,
auditioning for it and they didn't really tell him what he was auditioning for, so they were like, just go for it. So there's all these takes of Spider Pig just like swearing and it's
right.
hilarious.
um, okay, look, here's something I just gotta say.
Okay.
The butt joke is
Yeah.
funny. It works. It's
Okay.
a good joke.
Okay.
I know it's all around just the fact that the word butt is funny. But hey, look, I don't want to be the first to tell you this. The word butt is funny.
Okay, Jackson.
So like it's a good joke cuz butt is a funny word.
Okay.
I'm just saying. It's a good
Okay.
joke.
Stop yelling at me.
um
I
by the way,
mean,
IMDb says that they'll be finished processing my trivia by January 30th. So by the time this episode comes out, we will know for sure whether or
gotcha.
not I passed the test.
Yeah. I was like, we were talking about how this movie is really like episodic, kind of like the Odyssey.
Right.
And what's really nice about that is that it really never slows down, which is really, really nice. Like we just go
Mhm.
from one thing to the next and they lead into each other like pretty smoothly. The one transition that I don't like is the one where the boat explodes and they wake up and the boat is just like totally somewhere, who knows where. It's somewhere else now though, which
Right.
is fine because it makes us do what we need to do. But when I
Yeah.
was a kid even, I was like, wait, where the fuck are we now?
Right. No, yeah, and there's like I said, it's not like cause and effect driven. It's just like, um, so they're swimming around and then a shark shows up. There's a shark now. And you're like, oh,
Yeah,
cool, tight. There's
yeah.
a shark now.
I mean, I
um,
will accept that there's a shark now.
right. What is Odysseus trying to do in the Odyssey? I don't remember.
He's trying to get home. He's trying to get back from the Trojan War.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because he gets stranded on the island for like 10 years or whatever. And
I
he's.
thought it was, I thought it was like The Hobbit, where he like
No.
goes out to do something and then it's just like, and then he went home.
No, because it's the Iliad and the Odyssey, and the Iliad is all about the Trojan War. And then after the Trojan War is over, it's Odysseus trying to get back home
Right.
so that someone
I
doesn't
forgot
marry his
that.
wife.
I forgot that the Odyssey is a sequel.
The Odyssey's so good, dog. I love the
The
Odyssey.
sequel, but the sequels are never as good as the
Yeah,
original,
you
right?
know. See, the joke is I've never read the Iliad.
Right.
I was like, do you want to
Um,
read the Iliad or the Odyssey? And it's like, why the fuck would I read the Iliad?
is the Iliad even cool?
I don't know. I mean,
Oh,
you get
sorry. I for some reason Siri kicked on when I asked if the Iliad is even cool, and I don't know why.
she's got strong opinions about
I
it.
apparently it just says that I asked her, "Is it even cool?" And she said, "Well, it's 39 degrees Fahrenheit right now." So,
Anyway. Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool because it talks about like it's cool because it's like a historical event and it's like talking about like Greek mythology like in the historical event. So it's like, oh, Aphrodite was on this side and Hermes was on this side. So it's like kind of cool to like look at a historical event through the eyes of like the Greeks.
right.
But the Odyssey's just cooler.
Yeah. Okay, here's what I was thinking about.
Okay.
How is it that nobody has done like a premium cable, like 8 episode maxi series based on the Odyssey?
I'm
Like,
sure it exists.
doesn't that just seem like a slam dunk if like
Yeah.
HBO or Showtime or something was just like, we cast fucking Henry Cavill as Odysseus and we're gonna do this mega budget television miniseries, limited
Yeah.
series based on the Odyssey. Wouldn't that
See,
just kick ass?
my fear is that it would be more like 3000 when I would want it to be like The Witcher, you know? Like I would want it to
What
like
is
be
3000?
2000. What's the one where he's like this is Sparta?
Oh, 300.
3 whatever. But
Sorry.
it's like they would make it like too like gritty and really like that like kind of style. Like I would want it to like have a sense of humor and like be colorful sometimes. Like I want it I
Yeah.
don't want like gross muddy
Right.
action. I want to
Okay,
have fun
well,
on the Odyssey.
Okay, Adeline, here's how I know that you haven't seen 300.
Okay.
If you've seen even a frame of 300, you would know that it looks like a fucking perfume commercial.
Oh, okay. Well,
It is
I'm just talking
like,
about like big muscle boy, like army, like kind of
right.
movie, and that was just the first movie that popped into my head that I thought was
Yeah.
like that.
No,
But
yeah.
you know
Okay.
what I mean.
300 has kind of a complicated reputation because like people kind of make fun of it for being schlocky and whatever. But like seriously, it's like the total like Zack Snyder. Everything is so insanely color graded and so like everything's in slow motion and every single Spartan warrior is like cut out of stone and looks like
Yeah.
a perfect specimen of a person. It literally looks like a perfume commercial that makes you uncomfortable like the
Yeah.
entire movie, and everything's always like smoky and dramatic, and like the whole movie just looks like that. It's insane.
Okay.
I don't know. It's so crazy to me that that's what 300 is because I never would have expected it to be like that until I watched it and I was like, "Oh, this is what
Oh,
300 has been this whole time?"
this
Like,
is what we've been talking about.
right. Anyway, um the bit where Dory is like, "Oh, I know whatever. What did she say?"
Where the boat is.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I saw a boat follow me. Let's go. And then she like starts swimming, and Marlon's like following her, and then she just like slowly starts to like, you're like,
Walk
wait a minute.
normally. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like she turns around and looks back, and she like thinks he's following her. Is like such good visual storytelling.
Yeah.
Like, and it tells you so much about the character before like the full big reveal where she's like, oh, I have short term memory loss. Um, but, like, it clues you in so strongly and so cleanly, and it just, like, makes so much sense. It's just really good, and there's no dialogue in it. You just, like, are seeing
Yeah.
them do their thing. It rules. Just
Yeah.
have you ever considered that Pixar is really good at storytelling? Has
Have
anybody
you
ever
ever
said that
considered?
before? Um,
Is this a fresh hot take? Straight from the oven?
that's what my Incredibles hot take is gonna be. Pixar comes out with a lot of really good movies.
Yeah, they do a good job.
I should update the IMDb trivia on Monsters, Inc. too with my other good take. I'll do
do,
that if they let me
do
with
it
the other
later.
one. Yeah.
God.
Um,
I really love. First of all, I love how they animate Bruce. Like he just seems so huge, and like the way that you can like hear the water like move whenever he swims. Like it's just the
right.
sound design in this movie is really really good, and
And like
like
his mouth makes so much noise when he
yeah, it's
moves
like
it.
vital to the feeling of being underwater, but also like things like making Bruce just seem huge. Like
Right.
sound design is excellent. Day.
Yeah. And like, but yeah, I don't know. You can hear like his teeth clicking around in his mouth whenever he's talking. It like
Yeah,
makes it really feel like big and sharp and dangerous. You
yeah,
know.
it's great.
Um, Speaking of, I'm gonna try a different thing this podcast where I just pepper in trivia time when it's relevant to what we're talking
We're
about.
already like an hour into this, Jackson.
But okay. Did you know Anchor, one of the sharks, is very self-conscious about his head shape and does not like anyone staring at it?
That's just a lie. You just made that up. That's a head canon. That's not trivia.
There's no source on that.
Did you
There's
know
no
that
according
Hammerhead
to.
and Chum are dating and they're in love and they go on long walks in the water all the time?
I can only assume there's some sort of expanded universe novelization of Finding Nemo,
Where
some
it talks
spin-off
about it.
comic book somewhere where they say that Anchor is very self-conscious about the shape of his head. But
Cause
like
like that's a head canon. That's not trivia.
did you also know? You know what? I guess I'll just do all of it here because two of them are shark related and one of them isn't related to anything.
Okay, great.
Um, did you know that while many fans of Finding Nemo believe Bruce to be a villain, he actually is not, since he was nice to Marlin and Dory and never showed any signs of true evil?
First of all, I don't know how you're defining true evil, because I don't think you can just define that. Second of all, he tries to eat both of them.
Yeah, uh-huh.
If
But
you're
is that
trying
really
to,
true evil? He
if
didn't
you
wanna.
if we want to go into what true evil means, like if you want to say he's not a villain because he gets redeemed at the end, and it's because he's a man who suffers from a crippling addiction, then I'd be like, yeah. But to say that he never tried to hurt Marlon and Dory is
Right.
false.
He was nice to them, though. That's what they said. They said he was nice to them, which is true. He
Yes.
was nice to them. He just then also
Tried to
tried
eat
to eat
them.
him right afterwards. So technically, he's correct, I suppose. Hey, Adeline, did you know that this is Nathan Lane's favorite animated movie?
Good for Nathan Lane.
Yeah, voice of Timon.
Yeah.
It's his favorite movie, Finding Nemo. You
What's
know
his
that?
favorite color?
I don't know. I wonder if we could find out.
What color are
This
his
is
eyes?
this is the
Dreamy?
Nathan Lane segment. Adeline, did you know that this is the only G-rated film in Pixar's Finding franchise?
There's two of them.
This is
There's
the only
two of
G-rated one,
them.
though.
And this one's
And,
rated
the,
G and the other's rated PG.
and
That's
this is
so
the
stupid.
the only one in the whole Finding franchise.
Man, the whole entire, just the huge
And I hate that they call it the
change.
Finding franchise. That's the
Yeah,
worst.
because that's the worst. I hate it. Unless they're like finding Marwin. What's his name? Marlin.
Marwin. Welcome to Marwin, starring Steve Carell.
Yeah, finding Marwin, and then they find him because he's gonna learn the same lesson again about trusting people to do things.
Right.
He's gonna learn it a third time.
But maybe it'll be about himself.
Well, I've got to let myself do things.
And then when we cover that episode on the podcast, I'll be like, I mean, look, metaphorically, Marlin does find Marlin, but Dory finds Marlin, Nemo
Nemo
finds
finds
Marlin,
Marlin.
the funny fish that Ed Harris plays, the octopus, I mean, he finds Marlin, assuming he comes back for the
His
threequel.
name is Hank. Thank you.
Hank. Okay. And did I say Ed Harris? I meant Ed O'Neill. Also,
Anyway,
the
Hank
two
is
funny
like the only
whales.
good part of Finding Dory. Like, I love Hank.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to watch it again. I
It's
just
not.
remember going to see Finding Dory with Anna when it came out,
Yeah.
and I didn't care about it, but Anna wanted to see it, and I just remember wanting to go see Captain America: Civil War again instead. Um, and when we got to the theater, they were like, "Oh, Finding Dory's kind of full, but we've still got seats in like the front 2 rows, which is not even that bad at the theater we're at." And I
No.
knew that because I've had to do that sometimes, and it's not the worst. It could be a lot worse. But I just remember being like, "Oh, I don't know, Anna, but there is a Civil War showing 10 minutes later, which we could do if you really wanted to." And she was like, "No, fuck you. We're gonna go see Finding Dory." And so we would stop Finding Dory.
I can beat that. I think I was trying to remember. Yeah, no, this is right. I had my first kiss in the back of the theater while Civil War was playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But that's not a Finding Dory story.
No, it's a Captain
you kiss
America
again at
Civil
Finding
War
Dory?
story.
That's a war story if ever I've heard one. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Wait, why weren't you paying attention during Captain America: Civil War,
I
Adeline?
had
It's a good
already
film.
seen it.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you won the argument about seeing Civil War again.
Mine is the success story, and then yours is the failure.
Mine's a failure. I don't think Anna and I kissed at Finding Dory.
Yeah.
We probably would
Wow.
have if we had seen Civil War instead.
Yeah.
Lesson learned. Lesson learned. Anyway. I don't honestly have a lot of notes on this.
Because it's just good. It's a good movie.
I kind of bristled at some of the jokes in it, to be honest. I think its hit ratio with humor is not as good as pretty much all other Pixar movies.
Well, what jokes didn't land for you?
Just anytime Marlin does something kind of goofy and it's like out of character for him, I didn't think it was really that funny. I just thought it was like more embarrassing than anything else, Like
Give me an example.
Like when they run away from the anglerfish and he's like, "Oh yeah, no eating here tonight. No eating here tonight." And you're like, "Okay, that's not
I like
not
that.
as
Well,
funny
because
as
he
you think
just
it is."
escaped death. So if he's
Yeah.
excited, it makes sense.
I don't know.
It's not
All
out
those
of
times
character.
where they like humorously have him break character, I didn't think were that funny. I just thought they were kind of embarrassing. Personally.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking
Personally.
about, so.
I mean, that's just something they do every once in a while. He gets excited about something and sings a little song or whatever. I don't think it's always that funny.
Well, if he does
Anyway.
it more than once, then that's just a part of his character.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be funny and it's not, to me.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
I think it's fucking hilarious that all the fish are really into dentistry.
I know,
That's
it's
just
really good. They
Then,
only bring it up like once, but it's just hilarious.
No, like more than once. And then like the pelican flies in the window and he's just like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Did I miss anything?"
Yeah.
This is so good that they're like all really into dentistry and like the technique of it. It's
And
just
it's
great.
just like, I love that because the whole thing is the dentist doesn't like the big bird being in his office because he's a big bird. But there's so many
Right.
times when he's just like fucking in the window and the
Just
dentist
just
doesn't
watching.
notice.
Yeah. There's also just another gag that I think is really funny is when they're down in the anglerfish, where
Hmm.
they're like looking at the light, and Marlon's like, "I feel really happy,
I know.
which is a big deal for me." That's just really good.
It's
I think
really
that's
good.
really funny. um, okay, I want to talk about the score to this movie.
It's very
Um,
good.
by Thomas Newman, who is, I think, maybe among my favorite composers, because his score to Finding Nemo and his score to Series of Unfortunate Events are both, and like obviously
The
because I
movie or the
watched both of
TV
those
show?
movies, the movie,
Okay,
um,
great.
like
God,
obviously because I watched both of those a lot as a kid, but
can we
they're
do
like
the Series of
so.
Unfortunate movie?
That is a perfect movie for us, I think.
It's
That's got to
such
be
a
one
good
we do
movie.
eventually. There were a lot of movies that we watched as kids that were not like hyper popular movies.
That are really
Um,
good.
yeah, but like I feel like Series of Unfortunate Events and like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory were like two movies that were in our heavy rotation for a really
Oh yeah,
long time
definitely.
that are not life defining films for pretty much
Yeah.
anyone else, I
With
don't
that
think.
and that weird VHS of Alice in Wonderland that we had where what's his
Right.
face plays the turtle soup
Gene
song.
Wilder.
Gene Wilder,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the girl who plays what's her name in Napoleon Dynamite is Alice.
Yeah.
What's her name in Napoleon Dynamite? The
I don't
girl?
remember.
What's the name of the girl in Napoleon Dynamite? Napoleon Dynamite also
Is Whoopi
good one.
Goldberg the Cheshire Cat?
Yes.
Yes.
That movie has a fucking stacked cast.
Yeah,
Cuz they
and I've
got
never
Christopher
seen
Lloyd playing the
anybody
White
talk about
Knight.
it.
Hold on, let me look at it. Alice in Wonderland. Um the one it's like yeah, here we go, 1999. Um let's see. Oh, Robbie Coltrane is Tweedledum.
Yeah.
And Ben Kingsley is the Caterpillar,
Who played the
and
White Knight?
the White Knight was Christopher Lloyd, and Martin
Yeah.
Short was the Mad Hatter, Gene Wilder, and there's got to be that's all the big ones. I was talking like I was gonna keep naming forever, but there weren't that many other ones.
I mean, that's a lot though.
Yeah, still though, it had like a really good cast. Um, where what when did that happen? What TV channel was that for?
I don't was it a TV movie?
Yeah, it says TV movie on IMDb.
Well, because Grammy and Papa had the VHS of it, so that's why how
Right.
we got it.
Let's see. Details, UK. So I guess it was just BBC. It was just
Oh.
something the BBC commissioned. They're like, we're gonna do an Alice in Wonderland, and we're gonna get everybody in the world who's
Why
famous to
is
be
no
in it.
one British in that? Those are
Yeah, they
British
are.
actors.
They are. No, Robbie Coltrane is, and
I
Ben
mean,
Kingsley
yeah.
is, and
Is Gene
The Christopher
Wilder?
Lloyd isn't. No, Gene Wilder is
Yeah,
not.
Gene Wilder's
But
like a cowboy.
um, yeah, I don't know. At least a couple of them are. Ben Kingsley's British, right? I don't know.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
at least one. I know Robbie Coltrane is British. He plays Hagrid. Um, I hope he's British, right? I don't know.
Who knows?
Whatever. There are a lot of other actors besides famous people who are probably British.
Who are
Anyway.
probably British.
Um, but yeah, I just want to say that I think Monsters Inc. and Finding Nemo are the two best scores in the Pixar catalog.
They're very
Um,
good. What about The
besides maybe The
Incredibles?
Incredibles.
Yeah.
Right. And what's great about it is that those three movies are all right in a row and they're all three different composers, which
Yeah.
just kicks ass. It's my favorite thing in the world. That they just had this streak of like getting the best scores ever in history out of people for like 3
Yeah.
years. Um, but yeah, and I don't know, Thomas Newman has like such a really, really distinct musical style
Mm-hmm.
that like I can't name a lot of other composers who are so like just distinct, you know?
Yeah, he likes
Um,
those like big, like round notes. Like if that makes
yeah.
any sense.
Well, he doesn't
Like
have a lot of like lush over orchestrated chords, you know.
no.
He works a lot just in like the bass note in the fifth and just like letting it expand out on that really simple harmony rather than like doing really complicated dramatic chords, you know.
Yeah.
Um
I know we're talking about Finding Nemo, but god damn it, Jim Carrey as Count Olaf is just such a fucking slam dunk. Like I'm just
right, yeah. Um
that movie's so good.
What was the next one after Incredibles? Oh, that was Cars, and that doesn't have a good soundtrack. So yeah, they broke the streak.
The more that I've thought about, because when I was a kid, I just accepted Cars. I was
When
like,
I was kids,
when I was kids,
before I absorbed my twin.
I absorbed my twin when I was 7,
7.
but
You just ate him,
yeah,
swallowed him.
it wasn't like in embryo. No, I just like ate him one day. Anyway. But like I just like accepted Cars. Like I was like, this is a movie. I enjoy it. Cars is good movie. But now that we're all adults and we're all talking about it, I think Cars might be a bad film. I might be done with Cars.
Look. When was the last time you saw it?
It's been a grip.
So I think we should reserve judgment.
Okay.
Until we watch it 2 months from now.
But
right?
Like,
is that fair?
But like, okay. I guess what really gets me about Cars is Pixar just like grabbed the cash cow that is Mater and just fucking ran with it.
I know.
Which I don't even understand, but that's neither here nor there. And
here's what we should do.
What's even funnier about the film is that there's no reason for them to be cars. Like, the plot of the movie has nothing to do with the fact that they're cars.
I know. We'll cover this later. Here's what I think we should do.
Okay.
I think after we do Cars, we should have a special bonus episode where we only watch all of the Mater short films on Disney+.
There's so many of them.
There are at least a feature film's worth of Mater short films on Disney+.
So many.
Maybe, you know what would be kind of fun, actually? Is if someday in the future, when we finish off the Pixar catalog, we have a bonus episode where we talk about all the, like, spin-off short films. Not like the original short films, but all the ones that are like, this is a Monsters, Inc. one, this is a Toy Story one, this is a Cars one, whatever. That sounds kind of fun to me. If you, I don't know, I'm planning for maybe years in advance.
Does that include Forky?
Yeah, that includes Forky. Forky asks a question. Okay, look, here's the thing about Forky asks a question.
Yeah.
Most of them suck, but there are like 2 of them that I actually really like. And that's just enough to keep me clicking on them, even though I know that I hate them most of the time. You feel me?
What are the 2 that you like?
I really like, there's one that's What is Love, where it's Forky asks, I think it's the porcupine, but then we get the 3 like old retired kids toys from Toy Story 4 that are voiced by Carol Burnett and Ed Asner and whoever else, like there's 3 like really old famous actors.
Yeah.
And it's basically being like, oh, drama and storytelling. And Forky's like, that sounds lame. I don't think I would like that. Romance sounds stupid. And then like the 3 of them have this like really crazy, intense, like love triangle drama play out for 3 of them. And they're like all these baby toys voiced by 80-year-old actors. And it's just really good. And I think it's very funny.
God,
and I'm always chasing that high. I'm always chasing the high of Forky asks what is love. And none of them are ever as good as that.
This is a Frozen take because it's so old and everyone has said it so many times. But like, Carol Burnett is so cool. I love Carol Burnett.
She's good. Oh, Mel Brooks was the other one.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, no, it's Carol Burnett and Mel Brooks and Ed Asner playing baby toys. And they have this like melodrama. And Forky's just like, oh, no. And it's great. It's a good one. That's the good one. If you're going to watch any Forky short films, watch that one. That's the official No Nerds Allowed endorsement of that particular short film.
What is love?
Okay, here's some punch up that I would do. There's that bit right when Marlon wakes up and he's on Crush's back and he's like, okay, hold on, dude. And then he like goes down and it goes fast for a second and then it's kind of over.
Yeah.
Like, make that into a thing. Make that a whole thing. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Like, make some obstacles. Make it like a genuine action sequence instead of just like 20 seconds of like, oh, like the drop at the end of Pirates of the Caribbean. You know?
At the beginning of Pirates of the Caribbean, Jackson.
There's more than one drop, Adeline. There's one at the end too. It's smaller, but also
it's not
whatever.
As fun. Anyway. Yeah.
And I especially make note of it because I listen to the Finding Nemo soundtrack a lot.
Yeah.
And there's this really rad song that kicks in during that time where it's just like, and then it's like 20 seconds long and then it's just over. Like, oh.
And then we're done.
I kind of wish that was like a whole thing, but whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, what I really like is I like how kind of first of all, I really like that Marlon and Dory don't have a romantic relationship. I like that they just like care about each other. Like I think
Right.
that's really cool.
Mm.
And then it's Ellen DeGeneres is doing a good job. People make fun of her
Yeah.
for playing this role, but like she honestly does a whole lot of shit and she does a great job.
Right. Have you seen that clip? I think it's from Ellen, where she had Tom Hanks on, and she was like, "Oh, and you like to think everything on I don't know. People say everything on like interview television is all scripted, but this went so poorly. I cannot imagine it wasn't. Um, Ellen DeGeneres was like, "Oh, hey, we both voiced beloved Pixar characters. Let's do like kind of this improv exercise where you're Woody and I'm Dory, and we'll do a thing." And Tom Hanks is like, "Oh, okay, that sounds fun." And then basically, it just comes to pass that Dory is the worst and least productive character in an improv exercise ever
Yeah.
because Tom Hanks is like, "Oh my gosh, hi, I'm Woody. Have you seen my hat?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll help you look for your hat." And he's like, "Great, I think I saw it over here." And then she's like, "Hi, who are you?" And Tom Hanks is like, "Um, hi, I'm Woody. Why don't you remember me?" And it's like, "Oh no, this is the worst. This is the worst. This is awful." Like, I don't know. Ellen DeGeneres just turns into like the most hostile
But
improv partner
that's
ever.
not Ellen's fault. That's just
I
what
know.
Dory's like.
I know. It was just a bad idea and it went super poorly. I don't know. That's just a thing on the internet that I think is really funny. Maybe I'll put it on the Facebook if I find it or the Twitter. I don't know. I can't decide whether look. I'm doing a whole bunch of social media. I try to
Uh-huh.
decide whether I want to have exclusive content on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or just post the same thing in all three places. Because I want people to follow all of them,
Yeah,
but also it's a lot of content to generate. I'm
that
just
is a
one
lot of
man,
content.
you know?
Maybe have like always put everything that like always post everything on everything. But then on like you have like Facebook Fridays and Instagram Tuesdays where it's like you have like scheduled times where you like post new content to the other
Maybe.
things.
Whatever. This isn't funny.
No, this is just clerical work.
Oh, I should have put this at the beginning. We have a website now. We have a Wix website that has a bad URL, but I'm gonna buy a custom URL soon. Um,
Do you want to maybe wait to announce it then?
yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's done now, though. Yeah, whatever. We'll cut it out. I'll do it next time.
Yeah,
Um,
because I can
oh, okay,
also.
okay. Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do.
Okay.
There are many different. We have a website now, and I've yet to buy a domain name for it. It will obviously be nonerdsallowed.com or whatever, but there are many different domain extensions available for purchase for no nerds allowed dot whatever.
Dot fart.
And I'm gonna put a poll on Twitter. This is my call to action. I'm gonna put a poll on Twitter. I would say as of right now, our front runners are probably dot horse, dot furniture, dot Republican.
We're not doing dot Republican.
No, why not? I want to do dot Republican
In this in this economy.
in this economy. What were some of the other really good ones? Um, dot pizza. That was also a good one.
I mean, that pizza's good.
There's dot ninja.
Do you
Dot
maybe
faith.
think that maybe having something other than .com would maybe hurt our brand?
No, not at all.
Because you're
I think
making it
no
harder
nerds
to
allowed.
find.
No, I think if you heard the phrase no nerds allowed dot horse even once, you would remember it.
One
Okay,
time.
look, just I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, okay? I'll
Okay.
put dot com in the survey. If enough people vote for dot com, I'll
Okay.
just do dot com and I'll be happy about it. But I think dot furniture, dot horse, dot pizza, or dot Republican are all really
We're
funny.
not doing .republican.
If it wins the poll, we have to do it, Adelaide.
No, I have the right to veto.
I'm paying for it. I'm paying for the
I
domain
have
name.
but I am if I bounce, you won't have a podcast anymore.
The like general message of this movie is fun, right? Because it's about like not being overprotective and not being paranoid about everything, but it's
Mhm.
also not just chill out because it'll probably be fine. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
It's like still be present.
Yeah, like bad stuff can happen even if you're really careful. So why be a downer about it? You
Yeah.
know? It reminds me of um Jim Carrey has a bit in his stand-up routine, um, where it's not like a stand-up bit, but he just talks about how like his dad was just like a real estate agent, um, but he still failed at that and like got fired and like had to rebuild his life and basically like never had a satisfying career,
Yeah.
Um, and he just like remembers thinking to himself like you can still fail even if you're not doing the thing you want to do. So
Yeah.
why not ever just do the thing you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's kind of close to the message of this movie. Like it's just like bad things could happen and will happen no matter what. So why be such a doofus about it,
Yeah,
you
you can
know?
make the best out of what goes wrong.
Right. Okay, here's a question I have for you.
Okay.
Is the implication that Dory can actually talk to whales?
Yes.
I think that's whack. I don't think Dory should actually have been able to talk to the whale.
Okay. Well, sorry.
I don't. I mean, I just think it's stupid. I just think it's a little bit stupid. I don't.
Do you
I think it should be
remember
a goof.
in Finding Dory, she's got her friend who's a whale who taught her how to speak whale?
Yeah, but she's also a doofus,
But she is a whale.
so that's kind of the gag. I thought, but she speaks
Whale.
English, not English, fish. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
She talks to
Common.
other fish regularly. She's not bilingual. I guess. I don't know. I guess she is.
She
This is
is.
stupid. This
Jackson, Dory can speak whale. Let it go.
I think it's dumb that Dory can speak whale. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
If I were writing it, I would make it that she can't speak whale.
So do you have a 1-star review or
No, not yet. I think it's good writing that Dory finds Nemo.
You
I
know who
think it's good
else?
writing that Dory finds Nemo and Dory doesn't remember. It's very exciting and interesting as an audience member.
Do you know who else finds Nemo?
Everybody in the movie, pretty much everybody in the movie.
That one crab who's like, "Hey,
Yeah, that's true. He
hey, what
does
you
find
doing?
Nemo.
Hey,
And then
get out of here!"
and they hang him over a balcony.
Yeah, they hang Michael Jackson hangs his baby over a balcony.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna put that in the IMDb trivia.
You're
um,
you're wrong on all accounts.
okay. So yes, I do have a 1-star review of Finding Nemo. All right. This person gives Finding Nemo 1 star.
Which just already means that they're an asshole.
And they say, if my school shows this goddamn movie one more time, I'm gonna start swinging, bruh. Like, Finding Dory is literally already out. Why not fucking play that instead? Like, come on, son.
I take back everything I just said. This guy's right.
Yeah, no, he's great. This guy's my role model, I think.
He knows what he wants, and he's gonna get it, and he's gonna start swinging, bro.
Start swinging, bro. Anyway, my name's Jackson McMurray.
My name's Adeline McMurray.
And this is No Nerds Allowed.
Is NPR. Wait, no!